living in the Tar Heel state. Well, making the transition back to civilian life can be difficult. Carolina Impact's Jeff Rivenbark introduces us to a new partnership of organizations in our area, helping to make things a little bit easier.
Thank you, sir. I have to figure out if I still have room over here.
This is no ordinary photo shoot.
Great, and then just bring your chin back to me this way. That looks nice. Great.
Once a month, Brian Bazemore donates his time to take pictures of veterans. In less than an hour, he takes about a dozen headshots. Meanwhile, over in the next room, more than 30 veterans talk over lunch about all sorts of things: where they've served, which companies in Charlotte have jobs, or where to find childcare. Charlotte Bridge Home hosts lunches here each month, and they've been doing it for 5 years. Cindy Basenspeller says the organization helps veterans transition from military to civilian life.
This could be in anything from getting a job or getting a better job, relocating their family, or getting services for their kids or their spouse.
Charlotte Bridge Home is also the hub for a new partnership of veteran agencies called NC Serves.
Charlotte has good things to offer veterans. Veterans need a little assistance in navigating and finding that way, so that's what NC Serves is intended to do.
Bourne says one of the greatest challenges veterans face?
Social connectivity.
For veterans new to a big city like Charlotte without the support of a military base, it can feel a bit intimidating.
When we were all on post, when we were in the military, we knew where we needed to go to get the things on base. They were simple to find. In Charlotte, it can be a little harder. So we deliberately have events like this lunch, runs, workouts, volunteer projects, ways to engage the community so we can get in front of veterans and let them know about the resources available.
Each month, about 20 new veterans show up for these lunches, like Darren Short. There's a feeling of camaraderie as the veterans introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Darren Short. Retired 22 years from the Army, 11 enlisted, 11 commissioned as a military police officer.
Short moved to Mooresville a year ago. Mementos on his wall show his sense of pride for his military service.
And the Army used to have a motto that said, you know, we'll show you the world. Well, they certainly, in regards to myself, kept their promise.
Since August, he spent lots of hours poring over real estate books. He wants to become a realtor.
You know, I've always enjoyed interacting with people, and I've always, I've considered it that may be a good second career option.
When he moved here, he knew no one. About a month later, he went to a veterans event where he met Michael Jordan, and that's when he learned about Charlotte Bridge Home.
And there was a young man there named Tommy Norman that was being honored. It was called the Gala of Heroes. But he handed me his card and said if I need any help with, housing, finding a job, whatever he could do to give him a call.
He says the organization has helped him adjust to civilian life in a number of ways.
They're there to, help you as much or as little as you want or need. And they just make sure you understand it's available.
For work in the communication field. In the meantime, I volunteer on the board of directors for an animal rescue group.
Ashley Horton had a similar experience. During her 7-year military career, she encountered lots of dangerous situations. But when she got out of the Marines 4 years ago, there were a different set of challenges she faced. She turned her love for animals into a pet care business to make ends meet.
Hey Bailey, do me a favor, sit. Sit.
Even with military experience and a college degree, she says it hasn't been easy finding work in her field.
It's terrifying, and it's just a really humbling experience trying to find your way back. So it has been a challenge, but not one that I can't overcome.
Her involvement with Charlotte Bridge Home not only helps her feel connected, she's also learning how to market herself to potential employers. One way is updating her headshot.
And a lot of veterans don't understand, having been in the military and having had a military photo all of their life, how important it is to have a great LinkedIn profile that shows the best side of you in a suit or in business casual.
I hope it exudes everything that I am about and I believe in. The sincerity in my face, the dedication, the commitment that the military has instilled in me. I hope they can see that in my picture.
Remember Darren Short? It's been a year since he learned about Charlotte Bridge Home.
To be honest, I felt like I didn't want to go there and say I was unemployed and that I wasn't working.
But something happened the night before that gives him the confidence to go.
Just passed my real estate exam last night, but still unsure what I'm going to do with it.
And while he's not sure about his next step, Short says he's more confident knowing Charlotte Bridge Home and NC Serves will be there to help him navigate whatever challenges he faces as he adjusts to civilian life. For Carolina Impact, I'm Jeff Rivenbark reporting.
Thanks so much, Jeff. Joining me now is Tommy Norman, a veteran himself and founder of Charlotte Bridge Home. Tommy, thanks so much for your time.
Happy to be here, Amy.
And thanks for all you do for our veterans in the community. Why is this so important and special for you?
From my standpoint, it's always been a soft spot in my heart. The military has been a soft spot, but certainly more than that, it's when I see these young men and women, when they're coming home, they're headed back to the civilian community, I know to some degree what the challenges are and what they're up against. A lot of those are basic decisions. Where do I pick up on a career? They all have to go find a career. Their benefits are not adequate enough to give them the economic support that they really need to have. So we know they've got to find that direction and hopefully that passion and interest that they really care about as their second career. But in addition to that, we know that it's a family decision on where they're going, where they want to be. In many cases, they have children, and so they have a lot of options. Many of them are from small town USA. They are not going back to small town USA because the opportunities are not there. Charlotte, North Carolina's got some of the finest economic futures that these guys could have. We're a non-military town, but they know that this is one of those opportunities that could make a lot of sense for them. So that's why they start picking Charlotte.
And you said thousands are expected to come here over the next year to 18 months?
The last numbers we got out of the Joint Chiefs of Staff were somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 14,000. We think probably 12,000 is a good working number over the next 18 months. So if you got 12,000 veterans times a family factor of 2.5, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 25,000 individuals.
And you go to Washington, D.C. and to the Pentagon, Department of Defense to talk. You know, what is your role when you go visit? Well,
we're trying to emphasize, obviously, we're putting our Chamber of Commerce hat on and we're talking about Charlotte, but we're also talking about the transition steps that it takes as you move out of the service. It needs to be orderly. We obviously would like it to be seamless, and it's not just a question of finishing up your military activity and then stepping into the civilian world. There really is a whole process of putting your resume together, making some hard decisions about your life, what you really are interested in, what your capability, your aptitude, your interests are. But taking those to the marketplace is a pretty big gap in there. You don't just mail it out. You don't just put it on the website. You've got to go make those contacts. So we try to open those doors and make those contacts into the business sector or wherever particularly they want to be going.
You shared with me how much training is involved for these men and women before they head off to protect our country. Yeah. But the training for the transition back is not the same.
You know, we do a terrific job. We've got the strongest, most effective military in the world. Nothing touches it. And part of the reason and success of all that is, one, we're an all-volunteer service. The volunteerism has changed the makeup of our military considerably. 0.5% of the American population are in uniform, 0.5%. World War II, it was 15% of the population of this country. So it's a very, very small percentage, and many of those individuals come out of military families, but you know, they go into skill set training from their basic, and in many cases that is a year to a year and a half worth of training. When you return to the civilian world, there is zero training for all of that. You basically are left up to your own vices to figure out where I need to go and what I need to be doing. And we feel very strongly that we can be there with a hand out to help and assist, but we want to do it on the front end while they're still in uniform.
Tommy Norman, Chairman and founder of Charlotte Bridge Home, thank you for all you do for our brave service people.
Thank you all for the exposure and all the support that you continue to give us.
Well,